Jimmy Wanjigi concluded his 4-day tour of Nyanza region in Kisumu earlier today. Wanjigi attended a church service at Kibuye Catholic Church, and later on, Jimmy Wanjigi addressed the public in town. Now, that's Jimmy Wanjigi. But one question which most ODM supporters are still asking, which they can't find answers to, is the objective and the game plan of Jimmy Wanjigi. But personally, I think as much as Jimmy Wanjigi intends to run for the presidency, as much as he intends to challenge Raila Odinga for the presidency on ODM ticket, I think Jimmy Wanjigi is committing certain mistakes. So in this video today, I want us to look at the 5 or 6 mistakes which Jimmy Wanjigi is committing, and these mistakes are actually annoying the ODM supporters. But before we do that, if you're watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Now let us get back to the main issue. ODM supporters are asking themselves one simple question. What is Jimmy Wanjigi's game plan?
Changamoto imetokea kwa mambo ya Wanjigi kutua in Nyanza. Ningependa kuambia Jimmy Wanjigi, matamshi yako ambayo unatamka kwa Raila Odinga ni matamshi ambayo haifai. Ukisema fagia wazee, unamaanisha unafagia mpaka Raila Odinga. Kwa hivyo wewe, tunataka tukuambie Jimmy Wanjigi, wewe ni bilionea kwa taifa la Kenya. Lakini tunataka utuambie watu ambayo umesaidia wewe, kwa sababu uko na pesa mingi na pesa ambayo wewe hujui kutumia. Huwezi enda Nyanza uanze kusema fagia. Ukisema fagia wazee, unamaanisha wanafagia Raila Odinga. This time is time for Raila Odinga. Azimio la baba ni kuenda State House. Wewe unakimbia Central, unakimbia Nyanza, baba ako Central. Bala wende ushikilie baba mkono Central, mtembee na yeye, uambie wa Kikuyu baba ndiye anafaa. Wewe kazi yako ni fagia. Mmoja sema fagia wazee, ukisema fagia wazee, unafagia baba. Na Nyanza, wale aspirant ambao wanasoma president ambao wanaenda Luo Nyanza, ukienda huko tumia lugha ya heshima, utakaribishwa. Lakini ukitumia lugha ambayo inastahili, hautakaribishwa Nyanza. Kama ni kuomba kura, omba kura kwa njia ambayo inastahili. Kwa hivyo nataka niambie Jimmy Wanjigi, and I want to advise you, uko na pesa mingi na hujui kutumia, kuja Nairobi usaidie watu ambao wanalala njaa, watu wameshindwa kulipa manyumba, wengine watoto wameshindwa kwenda mashule. You are wasting a lot of money na kitu ambaye hakuna. Hapa Nairobi we don't have leadership, wala wako hapa ni imposters ambao wako hapa Nairobi. Kwa hivyo nataka niambie Jimmy Wanjigi, wewe kuja Nairobi tukupange. Mambo ya president wachana nayo. Baba ndio yule anakimbia na ni mzee. Akikimbia everywhere kumhakikisha azimio inatimia. Ya mwisho ni kwa Eric Omondi.
From that clip, you can clearly tell that ODM supporters are really worried about Jimmy Wanjigi's game plan. But he can avoid those by avoiding these mistakes. The first mistake which Jimmy Wanjigi is committing, in my view, is trying to change the ODM party slogan. The ODM party slogan has always been chungwa moja, maisha bora. You say ODM, then the response is normally chungwa moja, maisha bora. Jimmy Wanjigi is changing that to fagia wote. And of course, even the chungwa moja, maisha bora was replaced in the last election to mbele pamoja. So you say ODM, mbele pamoja, or forward together. But Jimmy Wanjigi, in his own wisdom, has decided to change that slogan. Fagia wote. And according to the ODM supporters, they interpret fagia wote to mean changing everything within ODM party. And the fact that Jimmy Wanjigi is using people like Eric Omondi, he's using people who are not known to be real supporters of Raila Odinga, the supporters are worried that probably Jimmy Wanjigi could be working with the opponent or with anti-Raila Odinga's forces to try and take over the ODM leadership. So in my view, if Jimmy Wanjigi were to make progress within the ODM party, the best he can do is to incorporate that fagia wote in his slogans, but retain the ODM party slogan. Like for example, if you followed very closely the incidents in Migori, Jimmy Wanjigi was just saying ODM, then people were responding chungwa moja. Then he stopped to remind them that it should be ODM, nikisema ODM, mseme fagia wote. And that's when now someone threw stone at him. I don't condone, I don't really support those acts. They are very bad. Violence should not be allowed. But Jimmy Wanjigi needs to find a way of incorporating his fagia wote slogan into the ODM party slogan. Like he can come up with something innovative like ODM, maisha moja, ODM chungwa moja, maisha bora, fagia wote. At least that I think he must figure out. But trying to replace the slogan is something which I think the ODM supporters are not comfortable with. The second mistake which Jimmy Wanjigi is doing, and I think this is going to give him problems, is trying to use parallel party officials in his visits. ODM as a political party has recognized officials. Like when you come to Kisumu, you will definitely find the ODM chairperson. You go to Migori, there's the ODM chairperson there. You go to Siaya, and they have their structures. And of course, there are always internal factions. But the party has the recognized office. Jimmy Wanjigi is not using these recognized officials. He's basically empowering parallel officials. And this is one thing which, for example, caused a lot of chaos in Migori. Because remember, in Migori, for example, ODM has been facing a lot of challenges. After the last election, even before the last election, there were ODM officials. And then when Obado came and joined the ODM party, he also kind of formed a parallel office and created parallel officials. Then when he went to PDP, some of these officials followed him, but they still purport to be ODM officials. And now this is the same group which Jimmy Wanjigi used in his visit to Migori. And I think the fact that he's using parallel officials is not the right thing. My view is that for him to succeed, he should seek for authority from party headquarters. That this week I want to go to Turkana County, for example, and I intend to meet officials there. Then he can be authorized. Okay, if you're going to meet officials, then you go there, have these party officials, these are the recognized officials, talk to them, sell your policy to them. I think until a time when the party will say that you are not going to meet them, that's the time I think Jimmy Wanjigi can then decide to go differently. Because the other alternative for me would be for Jimmy Wanjigi to go to the ODM supporters directly. But that can only apply where ODM is dominant, like in Nyanza. But how will he know that the people he is meeting are the only ODM officials? So in my view, Jimmy Wanjigi ought not to use parallel party officials. The third mistake and this one I pointed out earlier, is the fact that Jimmy Wanjigi is opening and launching different or parallel party offices and branches. When he was in Kiambu the other day, he opened a different party office. Basically, he opened or he launched a different party branch, complete with officials. Nobody in his right mind can allow that to happen. Even in Jubilee, where we have Ruto and Uhuru comes, they can't allow parallel offices to be opened. Anytime you apply that, they issue different communications. So, in my view, Jimmy Wanjigi should figure out the best way he can use the existing branch offices or party branches. Like, for example, if there's no party branch in Tharaka Nithi, then he can go ahead and open office. But as long as there's an office in Tharaka Nithi and Jimmy Wanjigi is going there, then there's no need for him to go outside there and launch another office. That's definitely going to create confusion, definitely going to create friction between Jimmy Wanjigi and the party leadership. So that's the third mistake he's doing. The fourth mistake, which came out of Nyanza, is the fact that Jimmy Wanjigi is now trying to portray ODM party as a violent party. You know, before Jimmy Wanjigi went to Migori, and before Jimmy Wanjigi went to Migori, ODM party had shed off the tag of violence. In fact, the last time violence was witnessed in ODM was during the 2017 general election. The only violence we've witnessed were actually meted on the ODM party in Githurai. So Jimmy Wanjigi came to Nyanza, went to Migori, and chaos erupted. And Jimmy Wanjigi then started blaming Junet Mohammed and demanding that Raila Odinga must apologize. In my view, I found that to be very strange, and I found it to be very interesting. Junet Mohammed, for example, was in Mombasa, busy organizing for the Azimio la Umoja. Raila Odinga was in Mombasa. Then how then would Jimmy Wanjigi demand apology from people he knows so well were not in Migori when violence erupted? And if anything, probably he did not even consult them that he was going to those areas, and therefore he needed to be secured. So basically, ODM supporters fails very strongly. And I want to challenge you to go to Wafula Buke's Facebook post. There's a post he made, I think, today or yesterday. Read it. They tend to believe that Jimmy Wanjigi is actually out to portray ODM supporters as violent. And that's why they are accusing him. Like yesterday, there were reports that after meeting the delegates, all the officials he met in Siaya, they were never paid. And these people were demanding for the pay. So basically, someone is trying to portray ODM party as a violent party, a party that does not really appreciate internal democracy. The fifth mistake Jimmy Wanjigi is doing is trying to target Raila Odinga allies. In Nyanza, Raila Odinga ally is Junet Mohammed. Why would Jimmy Wanjigi target Junet Mohammed? Why would he accuse Junet Mohammed as the guy who organized his stoning in Migori County? Basically, the fact is he's targeting Raila Odinga allies. It's not only that. In Migori, Suna East, Jimmy Wanjigi has even identified a candidate and is sponsoring that candidate against Junet Mohammed. And the other places where Jimmy Wanjigi is also sponsoring candidates against perceived Raila Odinga allies. And these ODM supporters are interpreting differently. And lastly, I think Jimmy Wanjigi is also making this mistake of using Raila Odinga's name in his attempts to win sympathy and for his publicity purposes. For example, why would Jimmy Wanjigi seek an apology from Raila Odinga? Why? Why would he do that? Because an impression is being created that Jimmy Wanjigi is the one sponsoring Raila Odinga. In 2013, Raila Odinga contested for the presidency. Wanjigi was with William Samoei Ruto and President Uhuru Kenyatta. In 2007, Raila Odinga contested for the presidency. Again, Jimmy Wanjigi was not there. So it means even in 2017, Raila Odinga was still going to contest for the presidency with or without Jimmy Wanjigi. It also means that in 2022, Raila Odinga can still contest for the presidency without Jimmy Wanjigi. But I think whatever Jimmy Wanjigi is doing is good for the party. It's giving ODM party the publicity they want. At least there's now news that certain things are happening within ODM party. Yeah? I don't know what you think, but in my view, I think Jimmy Wanjigi is committing those mistakes. I want to hear from you. Let me know if there's any other mistake which you feel that Jimmy Wanjigi is actually committing. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. Bye-bye.